that is not done, or you do not see the effect, you say, boy, this money has been wasted, or even worse, JPS got thief me, you know. So be careful. Deal with the bottom line. Deal with what happens at the end of the year. Because I've seen, for instance, where one can effect an energy improvement measure on air conditioning units, and then they get a sunny month afterwards. And they see no change because guess what happened? The effect of the solar radiation has a positive effect as far as energy consumption is concerned. So you tend to say, oh, something is wrong here. But then again, that might not be the average temperature conditions during that particular month. The next month it rains. You see it drop. So be careful. When you implement the measures that we are addressing, it is most likely, not just most likely, you definitely will see a change in your consumption, but more often a change in the bottom line come the end of the year, because the effect is generally over a period. So lighting should be attacked. We did a project in a very, very high-profile building here, and have observed where we embarked on the project in, say, April 2000, and we made some changes in lighting in 02, February 02. The bill dropped, and by monitoring, we have observed that there has been no increase since then. That is, therefore, the real effect that can come about from effective improvements. Air conditioning. The purpose of an air conditioning system is to provide and maintain a comfortable environment within a building for the occupants or for the process being conducted, like, you know, cooling and computer network system. The reason why I'd like to talk about air conditioning is because in our environment, air conditioning accounts for about 65%, 70%, and in some cases, 80% of the total electricity consumption of that facility, even up to 80%. But very few of us really understand the basic responsibilities of an air conditioning system, because we tend to believe that air conditioning systems are only dealing with reduction in air temperature. And if we are stuck into that mode by believing that that is the only thing that the air conditioning system is responsible for, then we are stuck in the mode of inefficiency, and we're incapable of dealing with the measures that can be applied to significantly reduce your operating cost. I also like to speak about air conditioning, because air conditioning and refrigeration, the refrigerators, the cold rooms, etc., operate on the same basic principle. And Caribbean ESCO was involved in a program with the JPSCO Demand Side Management Unit, where we went to about 2,000 homes across Jamaica, carried out energy audits, effected measures related to the refrigerators, changing gaskets and so forth, improving refrigerators. And from those energy audits, it's clearly shown that for your home situation, your refrigerator accounts for anywhere between 60% to 80% of your home electricity consumption. So it is vitally important that we look at this thing, cooling, and look at it in a serious way. In the United States and in other neighbors, the same thing holds in terms of percentage, but that's for heating. And it is easy to recognize that that is their concern in the northern countries, where their utility bills run about 60 to 80% as it relates to their heating cost. And you might hear on the news a complaint about heating, and then In the summer, their utility bills go up because, you know, the heating demand, etc. We have that demand, that treatment of air demand year-round. They have seasonal effects, but and they do, some of them do some air conditioning. But while I'm at this, I'd like to mention too that sometimes you see where air conditioners, and I'm talking more to technical people now, are rated in terms of the energy efficiency ratio, or some of them are rated at the SEER, the seasonal energy efficiency ratio. Some of our uninformed technical persons might make a mistake in dealing with these two factors. The seasonal energy efficiency ratio always looks great for nearly all air conditioning units and refrigeration units. But it does not, and I'm talking to you as a Jamaican now, a West Indian man, it does not truly apply to our local situation because we do not have seasons. So what we have to do is to use this factor, the energy efficiency ratio, rather than the seasonal energy efficiency ratio, to really determine. I'm speaking to the technical people now, that can reasonably determine, that allow you to advise properly on the type of system that should be utilized in our environment. So the EER is the way to go, not so much the SEER, because the SEER takes into consideration spring, summer, autumn, winter. Is that so? Spring, summer, yes. And I can't even remember them, right? But we are only in summer. So therefore, we are being affected by the maximum electricity consumption of those particular units. So therefore, we must address them based on the values that relate to the maximum performance, which is the EER. So let me now embark on the functions of the AC system. Temperature, the one that we all address, is a key function. Temperature reduction. Another very, very, very important factor is humidity. For the non-technical persons, that water you see dripping from the air conditioning system outside is the moisture that is removed from inside. So if we have, say, a steam kettle out there, and the steam kettle is nicely boiling our steam and so forth, that steam that you see emitting from the kettle must be removed by the air conditioning unit. And what it manifests itself in is the water that you see dripping from the unit outside. When you move around or when we sit, when you perspire, that moisture has to be removed. You don't see it, but it has to be removed. The glass with water, some of the water vaporized, that moisture has to be removed. It's the function of the air conditioning unit. But we tend to only look at the air conditioning unit's function, air conditioning, for humidity reduction, for temperature reduction. Now, more importantly, after I highlight the argument as it relates to an understanding of the humidity effect. When the door is opened, every time that door is opened, warm, moist air enters the space. That has to be removed by the air conditioning. The moisture